you are so lucky, Boise, to have Emma in your town. The things she does on stage and the way she challenges comedy to be better off it really is a service to the universe. And I can't think of a more beautiful moment than what is going to happen, because this intro is so good and crisp, right? It's real crisp. A little more about me. But please open your hearts. You know who she is because you are at her house. Here, newly birthdayed, always wonderful, here to say words into the universe and make it a better place for it. Emma Arnold, everybody.
Thank you, Emmett. Thank you for that warm, beautiful intro that made me cry a little bit. And what if I just ate shit now? Like, what if I just bombed for the next 30 minutes? He's like, you guys are so lucky to have her. We'll see. I'm a little worried because I'm not nervous. I feel like I haven't done comedy in 15 months, and I feel like Emmett and I were talking, and he was like, I'm very nervous. And I kept being like, I feel like I should be. But I think I'm suffering from like adrenal fatigue or something. Like, I have an immune issue, and so I've just basically, spent the last year waiting to get sneezed on by a Republican and die. So it's been a rough year. I don't know, you guys. I look at this. I wrote like 3 pages of what are probably anecdotes I could have told you at lunch. And we're going to try some stuff. A round of applause for everybody who saw. My God, what a funny show already. Emmett, it was just such a joy to see you do comedy. I just feel like we were talking about doing a show, and I was like, we were both a little like, how do you re-entry into your, like you said, your art, but also the thing that kills you more than anything. And I just feel like this has been such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm going to retire. So thank you so much. Thank you. That was it for me. I could retire now because I'm one of the people I'm a very like active, busy person. And during COVID, because I couldn't do comedy, I did a lot of other things. I did a lot of writing. I learned to play piano. Not well. I'm just saying that I did learn how to do it. I baked a lot of bread. I did a lot of things. I give a very good men's haircut now, if you want to pop over. Did everybody's hair. One thing I did not do any of was physical activity. Anybody else? I did not. An ex-boyfriend of mine, somebody I dated for a while who's very hot, he texted me a bunch of pictures the other day, and he was like, yeah, I just got totally shredded during COVID. And he did. Like, he said he'd worked out every day. He's in amazing shape. And I was like, I feel like you're breaking the social contract here. Do you feel like last April we all decided to do bread? Is that what we decided as a society? I did bread and depression. That's what I did for a year. He got shredded. So I feel like I don't care if you're somebody who right now is feeling bad because you like look great. I don't care. You're not my ex-boyfriend, so do what you want. You don't make me feel bad personally, so I don't care. I did a lot of cool things during COVID. It was a weird time to be, like a horrible time. I know a lot of people lost people. It was scary and depressing, and it was just, I want everybody here to like take a moment and take a deep breath and realize that like we lived through a global event together. Like we did that, and it was really, really hard. And there are people out there who it wasn't hard for. What the fuck is that like? Like, who are just out there still living their life every day, like not, like nothing changed. Like, I know you had a hard year, but at least you're changed by it, At least you're gonna come out of this. I'm hoping better, we'll see. But like, different has to be better than just being like, I don't know, nothing was really different for me. I went down and harassed the nice people at Woodland Empire every day and had a pretty good time. So I don't know, I feel like that's gotta be good. One thing I did, I got really close to my parents during the pandemic. which, we were like, I love them. They were around before, but during the pandemic, they were the only people I knew who were also being very, very careful. My mom is a retired respiratory therapist, so this all hit her very hard. She was very scared of getting COVID. She was being really careful. They would come over and we'd hang out outside, and we got very, very close, and which has been very special, except I've sort of realized, like, my mom, here, I just am going to give you a couple of examples. My mom's out of her mind, and I love her, but she's out of her mind, and I didn't know before. Like, one thing she said to me the other day was, I'm not a very anxious person. What the fuck? We weren't allowed to leave this cul-de-sac until we were 11. So, like, there's an out of order sign on the trampoline right now. Like, you're not an anxious person. Another thing is, my mom, she's not very tech savvy, and the other day her phone keeps freezing, so she had me take a look at it, and she was like, I don't know, it just keeps running really slow, it's not working. And I was like, well, let me see. And she had, on Chrome, she had 92 tabs open on Chrome, 91 of which were for the PBS schedule. So all my parents watch is PBS, and they need to know what's on, apparently. And then there was one tab that was for a site that was for orphan horses for rent. How bleak is my mom that she's like, I don't want to buy a horse, but I do want to make sure its parents are dead. Okay. Just looking to rent. Just going to borrow a horse. When I asked her about it, she goes, some things are private. I don't know what that means. Everybody got into some interesting things during COVID. I feel like this year has been so transformational for me, partly because, like, this is mostly for the women, okay, but, like, what was it like, huh? We lived for a year kind of outside of the male gaze. Wow, that was amazing. Incredible. Early on, a trans friend of mine was like, you should really pay attention to the things that you do, like the gender affirming things that you do, even when you're not around men, so that you kind of know where you're actually at with your gender. And I was like, wow, what an incredible idea. And I quit waxing my mustache, haven't shaved my legs, yeah, thank you so much. Quit wearing bras. This is all Band-Aid under here, guys. Thank you, Molly. But I quit doing, like, so many of these things that I sort of realized, like, oh, those were never for me. Those were for, like, the male gaze. Those were for men to appreciate me. But one thing that I did religiously for the last 15 months, though no one has seen it, and I'm not sure what this means. Talk to me after the show. I really do want notes. What does it mean that for 15 months I have shaved my bikini line? Why have I done that? I have made sure I have a perfect little triangle. I don't even own a bikini anymore. I don't know what that means. Okay, so not a good joke. Got it. Okay. We're trying things. Okay. But I do think that's really interesting. Okay, I do think it is. Okay. It's because I went into pubic hair too fast. Is that what it was? You guys were like, your mom. And then I'm like, pubes, though. And you're like, we were not warmed up for that. Too soon. Got it. Okay. I feel like the male gaze things changed a lot for me. And also I feel like intimacy, like Emmett was talking about hugging. I feel like intimacy has changed so much for me. Like, I've always been, I don't know if you've heard, a fairly promiscuous person. And have gotten around quite a bit. And I feel like post-COVID, like, sex that's wildly out of my range right now. Sex with a stranger? No. We had a firefighter friend of ours come into town. He needed a place to stay in between gigs. He stayed with us for 2 nights, and he's fully vaccinated. We're fully vaccinated. We were like, yeah, of course you can stay with us. We watched a movie together on the couch, no masks, just sitting there, and I was like, is this a threesome? It is so hot. It is so hot. The whole time I was just like, woo! Oh my God. And also the threesome was very good. So no, we did not. We didn't have a threesome. One thing I did during COVID was, and I know some of you did this too, because we've commiserated, but I did online school with my kids, which was a wash, just a total wash. 2 of my kids did okay. Like, they made it through fine. One of my kids, my youngest, he incredible. He's an incredible boy. He was able to turn 8 minutes of homework every day into a 40-hour work week. I don't know how he did it, but he has such a gift. He just slides out of his chair over and over. This isn't a joke, but like honestly, I already was like, we gotta pay teachers more, and now I'm like, we gotta fuck teachers. Like we gotta, if you know a teacher, you give them whatever they want, okay? Butt stuff, mouth stuff, fifth base, I don't care. We owe teachers a very big debt. My kid he's always been one of those kids like, he was always a very sweet kid, and this year he turned 13 and he started puberty and hard, like it really hit him like a ton of bricks. And so we're doing online school while he's going through this, and every day, you know, while I'm trying to get him to sit and like go through his work and stuff, he's just being very mean to me. Like I'd be like, hey, let's, you know, log into reading and see what you have, and he'd be like, I hate your parenting. You're a terrible parent. And I'd be like, well, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but you know, when you have kids of your own, you're welcome to parent them differently. And he's like, I don't plan on having kids because of you. Like, okay. He's like, I was like, that's fine. That's a personal choice. I think that's a good choice for a lot of people. And if that's what you want, that's fine. And he was like, no, it's not a personal choice. I just wouldn't wish this hell on my worst enemy. It's like, same, fucker. I would not. So I said to him, kind of in not the best parenting moment, I was like, yeah, same. I hate this too. This is not my favorite either. This is rough for both of us. And I could tell like that kind of like, bing, you know, it hit him a little. And he wanted to hurt my feelings, which he's not great at. His older brother, so good at hurting my feelings. He had a gift for it. He would say stuff like, this is why dad left. Oh, wow. Okay, well, not that the notes matter, but I did leave your dad. But it's fine. Let's get this story straight if we're going to hurt hearts with it. But he was so good at hurting my feelings, and my youngest is not. And when I said same, he like pulled back, and I could see him like racking his brain for the meanest thing he could possibly say to me. And he goes, yeah? Well, your garden looks like crap. I was like, wow! Wow! This is why your dad left you. Just kidding. That's not nice. That's not nice. That's not nice. That's not nice. No. It's not his fault, you guys. He's a third kid, okay? And are there any thirds in here? Like any youngest babies? Youngest kids have it like, I know, so there's a lot of older kids in here. I'm an oldest and a middle in another family, and we all hate our youngest sibling, right? Because sorry, Hondo. You were the only person who raised their hand, and I was like, about to get real rocky for you. So, but it's true because like you always feel like they're more spoiled than you. They get away with so much more. But like also, like the other day, my son was describing what being the youngest child was like, and he goes, it's like I'm a dog who's just always throwing up on your rug. And I was like, oh. That was too hard? Okay. It hurt my feelings too. I was like, that's so sad. But it's true with like third kids because like with my first, like there's a couple new moms in the audience and I love you and you're so sweet because like I'm seeing my new mom, like I'm at the age, I had kids young, so my kids are like adults practically, but I have a lot of friends who are just now having babies and they're so cute because they're so worried with your first. You're just like one of my friends texts me and she's like, how much skin to skin do they need? And I was like, ew, oh God, what? Don't peel your baby. I'm not sure what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, stop. And she's like, no, like how much skin to skin did you do with your kids? And she said she read an article that like if you don't bond with your baby skin to skin for a certain amount of time, they'll grow up like with attachment issues. And I was like, you don't have to bond with your baby. They'll die without you. Like, they know. They will bond with you. The whole system has been set up for them to be like, look how cute I am. Don't leave me in a ditch. You know, like, you don't need skin to skin. Like, just, you're fine. But I was like that with my first kid, definitely. Like, with my first kid, I was so careful. Like, he didn't have processed sugar till he was, like, 6. Until we were at a party somewhere, and somebody handed him a soda, and he was like, what is this Santa water? Santa water. He was very impressed with it. He was so, like, I was so careful with him. And then I feel terrible because, like, by the time my third was born, like, I was just, like, leaving him on a blanket in the yard. Like, if a hawk takes him, a hawk takes him. You know, he's fine. And you know what? And you can see it in him because I should have paid more attention. I think I should have paid more attention. I was a single mom. I don't think he got, like, obviously the dog comment. There's some pain there, but also like he's an Eminem fan, so I fucked up. Is my point. I fucked up. I should have probably put a little more into that child. Okay. Parenting is a funny thing. I think that's one reason I've gotten closer with my parents this year is, for a long time, like a lot of us in your 30s, here's my advice. I'm 41. Your 30s are for navel gazing. They're for figuring your shit out. They're for being like, what's wrong with me? Why do I hurt all the time? And then by the time you're 40, you're like, oh, because life is garbage. And it's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. Probably it's your parents' fault too. But my parents, like, I always was so like, oh, they didn't do a great job. But recently I remembered this story. Sometimes people are like, how do you have the confidence to be a comedian? How are you able to do this? And I remembered this story about my mom. When I was 11, in this exact backyard, I had a birthday party similar to this, and my mom brought out a cake that she had made. There were candles in it, and I thought it would be a very funny idea to, instead of blowing out the candles, I wanted to scream them out. And so I stood there and screamed at these candles for honestly probably a good 4.5 minutes, just trying to get them to go out instead of just blowing them out. And everybody tolerated this. And at the end, my mom goes, "Oh, what a fun experiment." She turned to my dad and said, "What a scientist, huh?" Like that's where my parents did me wrong, is my mom thought I was a scientist for that. So it's funny, having teenagers, so we have 3 teenagers in this house, and teenagers are so, like, when my kids were little, I remember people telling me like horror stories about my teens, and I was like, my kids will never be like that. We have a bond. We did skin to skin, and they're never going to try to hurt my feelings, and they're never going to be mean to me. And they're such a trip. Teenagers are so funny because, like, my middle kid, he's like a very steady Freddy. He's a good kid, but like, it's okay. A lot of times when I say I have 3 boys, people will be like, "Oh, you're so lucky they're not girls. Girls are so emotional. Oh, girls are so hard." At least with boys, you get male logic instead of just raw emotion. And I'm like, oh, is that what that was? Is that what that was? When my 15-year-old had a complete meltdown and yelled, "This house is a prison," because we were out of Hot Pockets. Male logic. That's just straight male logic, folks. That's just all that is. Oh, God, you guys, this joke I'm so excited about, but I don't know. Let's try it. Okay. So, as some of you may know, I have been divorced for about 10 years. And I very, very rarely publicly, like, I don't have any jokes about my ex. I talk about him on social media a little bit. And recently, he expressed to me that he would prefer if I said some nice things about him in my comedy shows. Yeah. This was inspired by a tweet he saw where on Mother's Day I said, "Happy Mother's Day to all the single moms out there. You do such a hard job. Plus, happy Father's Day to you too, because you're doing the job of 2 parents." And he saw that and he got very offended and took it very personally for who knows what reason. And he said, "I want you to start saying things on stage that are nice about me." So I racked my brain. And I want you to know that he is very tall. He's a tall man. He's around 6'4". He's very tall. He also very specifically was like, "You got to tell people that I pay my child support on time." So this is me, you guys, telling you that since 2016, Health and Welfare has automatically withdrawn his child support from his paycheck every month on time. So thank you to him. Thank you so much. He wanted me to throw that in there. It's in there, bud. He's funny because, like, we've been divorced. We got married when we were, like, teenagers, right? And we had 3 kids, and but the other day he was like, I don't like you. And I was like, "Yeah, dude, That's why we're divorced. It's fucking rad. Like, it's so amazing. We don't have to like each other anymore. That's like the cool thing about being divorced is you can just be like, I don't get you, but we still have to raise kids, but we don't have to be buds. It's fine. I love it. I love being divorced from him. It's fantastic. I celebrate every year, October 12th. I throw myself a little party. It's wonderful. But he still is really angry that we got divorced. And one of the things is he got remarried a couple years ago. And until then, just between us, he wasn't involved in the kid's life a whole lot. But he got remarried to this woman who really wanted the kids in their life. So he came back into the picture. We started sharing custody. Great. Wonderful. I was ready for a break. I've always wanted like a two-party system here. You know, like that's fantastic. And she's wonderful. He always is like, you hate her. You hate her. And I'm like, no, of course I don't hate her. Like, what is there to hate? I'm very a strong believer, like, you need to, if you're a mom, you got to support your stepmom. That person is helping raise your kid. That person, like, you know, I mean, again, between us, she and I are doing an amazing job raising these kids. Like, we're doing such a good job. Like, honestly, I don't know why we don't just cut out the middleman. Like, you know, she's also very tall, if you get my meaning. She's also quite tall. Lovely. I like her a lot. And he always says to me, like, you hate her. And I'm like, how could I possibly hate her? Like, the other day he was like, she did his book report with him. Yeah, instead of you, she did the book report. And I was like, great, that's amazing. Thank you so much for doing the book report. That's so helpful. And he was like, yeah, but she's like a better mom than you. And I was like, that's fine. Takes a village, you know, like she's paying for braces. That's great. She's doing book reports. Fantastic. I love this woman. She's like a nanny who pays me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, hate her? Boy, this shit is gonna hit the fan when that goes on an album, I tell you. We'll see. We'll see if it ever makes it anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna do a sex joke. I'm gonna do a sex joke. I think we're ready. Okay, it has a little bit of a lead in though. So, I'm in love, like deeply, deeply in love, and it's great. Yeah, we're a very cynical society, and when you're like, I'm in love with someone, people are like, shut up. I'm really happy, and I'm in love with someone, and it's really great, and this person is perfect for me. They have ADHD, which means that they are constantly climbing through a doggy door because they forgot their keys, and I love that. That is my jam. Yeah, that means he's flexible and resilient. I love it. Yes. Get through that doggy door. I love watching you do that, Alex. But we have this wonderful sex life where like I just feel so like free and open, and it's so fun, and I'm always like discovering new things about myself, and it's just so great. And on Christmas, I discovered this new kink that I have that I did not know I had, and I'm going to share it with you because I feel like, I don't know, maybe you have it too, and maybe it's not just me. So on Christmas Day, I was giving him, and I'm going to whisper it because of my neighbors, a blowjob, okay? I was giving him a little Christmas blowjob, and that was louder. It's definitely louder. Just giving him, you know, just a very festive, great. It was wonderful. I'm very good at blowjobs. And he, during it, he put his hands on the back of my head very gently, and then he started going, yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas, babe. And I came from that. It was bananas. No stimulation, nothing. My body was just like, yep, that was the one. That did it. And afterward, I was like, well, apparently we need to remember that. Like, let's get you a little Santa suit. Like, let's just, like, up the ante. Let's go to the whole thing. Let's do it. And then, like, a week ago, we were fooling around, and I guess he thought, you know, like, let's do a little role play. And he tried it again, and he was like, Merry Christmas. And I was like, nope, not authentic. Does not feel authentic. It's a kink I can use one day a year. One day a year, I can do a Christmas blowjob, and we could try other holidays. Happy Arbor Day. I don't know. No, I don't want to do this one. Okay, we'll try this one. I think it might be too nice, but we'll see. He's very, very sweet, and this has been kind of a lonely year. Just like I haven't gotten to see a lot of my friends, and one thing I've really missed, and I don't care what you think of this because I think this is gendered bullshit, but one thing I've missed a whole bunch is I've really missed gossiping with my gal friends, okay? Just getting together and being like, you know who I fucking hate? And they're like, tell me! And then we just like eviscerate that person. Yeah, does that make me small and petty? I don't fucking care, okay? I miss it. And so I realize like, that's like astrology. Men are like, oh, gossip. Yeah, you hate gossip because we're talking about you. We're saying now what a bad dude you are, and you're like, gossip is for dumb ladies. But it's not. It's wonderful, and I've really missed it, and I haven't gotten to do very much of it. And Alex is the sweetest soul. If you know him, he's the sweetest soul in the world. Like, gets along with everybody, kindest man, and he's been so supportive because I'll be like, you know who I hate? And he's like, yeah, who? Who do you hate? And I'll be like, this person, and I'll start shit talking and be like, another thing they did and another thing. And the other day I was shit talking, and I looked to him for like, you jump in, you say something too. You say, yeah, and they smell bad or whatever, they eat their eggs wrong. I don't know anything. And he goes, yeah, poor them. Like, nope. No. He's so sweet. I don't know if this joke doesn't work anymore, so I'm going to kind of do it weirdly, but because this joke doesn't work anymore because I got boobs during COVID. You can look, it's fine. I put on like 20 pounds or 30 pounds, I don't know, and I got boobs for the first time like since I was breastfeeding, and that's why I haven't answered your emails, is because very time consuming. I did not realize how much of having big boobs is just being like, holy fuck, these are, woo, wow, look at them, look at them go. They're super fun. You can stop looking now. But I always thought he was very sweet because like when we first started dating, kind of one of the reasons I was like, oh, I think I might be crazy about this person was I've been an A cup my whole life, and we were fooling around, and he got on top of me and he started titty fucking me. Oh, that is so polite. That is with an A cup. That's like the most polite thing you can do. He's like building a sandcastle, trying to find enough to. He's kneading bread. He's just like, oh, there's enough in there. I got enough. I was like, that's so romantic. But now I have boobs, so poor them. Oh, that's okay. That was fun. Those are fun. Okay. No, I don't want to do those. I don't know. Where am I at on time, Alicia?
27.
Oh, great. Did you light me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. I was like, okay, well, we're on the last page of jokes here, so. Oh, God. Okay, well, then I just have to close on something. Okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to close on this just because it's not a joke, but I think that it's a very sweet story, and you've done enough laughs. It's fine. And and I feel like, I don't know, it's like the energy I want to remember from COVID. I know it was a really tough year, but I feel like there was something special about it in a lot of ways. Like, for me, I've been touring like a maniac for a decade, and did not realize how tired I was. Like I have always been a workhorse, and having like, an immune thing, so I couldn't go do anything, and it just sort of being stuck at home. And by the way, if you're a Patreon subscriber, thank you for paying my rent. Really appreciate you. Yeah. And actually, before I tell this, I just want to say real quick, you guys, round of applause for Alex, who built this stage. Yeah. Put up the lights. Did the sound, is just like the most amazing person in the world. And to Woodland Empire, who provided all the beer, and which is amazing. Thank you guys so much. And to you guys for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you. So there, I take a walk in the neighborhood, and I love this neighborhood. It's very poor, and it has been. By the way, if you don't know, I grew up in this house. My parents were renting it. We decided to rent it because we're also very poor, so that worked out. But we I love this neighborhood because it's, like, look how close we are to the freeway. Can you buy that kind of ambiance? No, you cannot. Carl's Jr., right there, guys. Yeah, that's how I'm living. But I love this neighborhood because, like, I don't know, I know this isn't a popular thing in our culture, but I like poor people. I think we're really interesting. And there's been so much shame on being like a person with, without a lot of means in our society, and everything is ballers, and we're all supposed to be trying to be Dwayne Johnson with a jet. And one thing I love about this neighborhood is it's so weird and so eclectic, and like there's a guy who has guard geese, I love that. I love that we're so poor it's not dogs in our neighborhood, it's geese. It's all guard geese around here, which is, by the way, my superpower. Geese are afraid of me. Yeah, just take that home with you. But I walk around and I say hello to all the neighbors, and there's a real mix of people here. And I feel like it's like a real snapshot of like the America that should be getting along, like a lot of like very poor white people and a lot of non-white people and a lot of like poor gay people, like there's a lot of trailers around here. Like we should be getting along and mad at Jeff Bezos, not each other, like pretty easy stuff. But the other day, so I see the same people a lot of times, and there's a little girl I see a lot of times. She's probably 7 or 8, and I don't know, she looks like she might have kind of a hard housing situation, because every time I walk by, she's always outside, and not in a fun I'm playing outside way, but in a 80s neglect go outside way. So she's always out there, and she always looks happy every time I see her. She even though like she clearly is kind of out there being neglected, she's always like coloring or dancing or drawing. And the other day I walked by and she had her headphones on and she was dancing, and I was watching her kind of as I approached. She was dancing and singing, and as I got closer I realized they weren't plugged into anything. They were just hanging. And when I got up to her, she like slid her ear back and she said, "What are you listening to?" And let's pretend it was something cool and not Pitbull. But I was listening to something cool, and so I told her like, "Oh, I'm listening to this." And I said, "What are you listening to?" And she goes, "Myself. I only ever listen to myself." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, fuck yeah." So I hope you do that. I hope this year has given you enough space and enough time to like, just listen to yourself, to just like hear yourself. And I don't know. I don't have more than that to say. I really appreciate you being here. Please stick around. We're gonna have a fire. We're gonna make s'mores. There's donuts. There's beer. We're gonna have music. Just hang out and let's have a nice little party. Thank you guys.